Alright, hit the button. Just a short video, I think. Yeah, Pink and Old Fan did, doing video exchanges, and it sort of ended up being a conversation about depression, and yeah, it's sort of depressing. And it's not, there's other things to talk about in the world, but yeah, it is a little dicey. Cats disturbing them. Sorry. Because, big picture wise, it's sort of the game over. That's what the whole philosophical end is, So, yeah, you can do little things like, ooh, look, things, sticks. Ooh, sticks, let's talk about sticks. Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, so it'd be nice if there was something to talk about. In a way, there isn't, everything is just so dismally futile. It doesn't really do any good to talk about anything, which is really depressing. Mostly. Gotta clean up used to be my little refuse back here, but, obviously the tree fell on it and all kinds of stuff, but, I used to hang out back here. I was going to use that as a swimming pool. Yeah, it didn't really work out that way. And, I don't know why, just entertains me. It actually cracked. A little hole in it down there. Kind of interesting. Look inside the toilet. Yeah, fun. Ooh. Yeah, ooh. Don't look in there. But that's a perfectly good float there. I'm going to pull that out. Put in some other turlet of disrepair. Anyway, I don't know why this is out here. It's probably not a very good pump anymore. I don't think it was very good. I think that's why it was out here. But then again, I don't know. This was my little cement pond. This was pretty good. It was all made out of rocks and cemented and everything, and had fish in it at one time and all that stuff. But yeah, yeah, I sort of gave up on it. But the daffodils are still growing. They're coming up. There's something left back here. Yeah, this was like 15 years ago. My life was back here, sort of. I used to come back here for refuse. Refuse? It's probably the wrong way to say it. All these trees are kind of shabby because this is where there's cicadas. There's billions and billions of them. And I think it's next year is the big year. And they'll just be all up in the trees. So anyway, they're eating all the tree roots back here. So all the trees, every 15 years there's a die-off. But anyway, this one obviously didn't die of that. Well, not obviously. It died of something. Then it fell down. Died first, then it fell. Look at my rabbit cages in the air. Yeah, that's why I used to have rabbits. Not on purpose. It's neighbors' problems. But anyway, it's just kind of funny how the tree just picked that right off the ground. Anyway, where was I? I don't know, but I like it back here. Anyway, I keep saying that. Where was I? Oh yeah, depression. So anyway, but the whole psychology thing of depression is kind of interesting. Because we only have this one word, we just call it depression. And that seems really lame. Because it has different flavors, different origins. There's times when you lack a give a damn. There's nothing terribly inspiring. So, as you're measuring your life experience, you're measuring it against, well, what am I going to gain? What's the benefit of chasing this piece of cheese? And, if you're not hungry, you're just not hungry. So you won't, you're not going to bother paying for food you don't want to eat. And so that's one kind of depression. It's just the kind that grows out of a deep lack of motivation. These are my asparaguses. Yeah, I always end up catching them too late. So they grow into full-grown ferns. But this year I got to remember to come out here and cut myself a few. You'd think there'd be really a lot of asparagus by now, but there isn't. But anyway, that's on another subject. My gardening skills. Yeah, so yeah, motivation has been my biggest problem. It's the biggest part of my depression as it stands now. Is, you know, I'm not. I'm just out of give a damn. And you know, so it's just, you know, but it's really quite insidious, because it just, you know, I know that, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have appreciated the opportunity that I'm passing up currently, you know, in terms of just letting things slide. Well, certainly 5 years ago. Meow. Anyway, it's getting awful thin. But anyway, it's old, and yeah, a couple have said that problem. That's also part of it for me, and no doubt. You know, as I'm doing this transition into old age, or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, I got no interest in it. I didn't figure I was going to be one of those people that would age gracefully, and yeah, I'm not going to. I just have no interest in being old, none whatsoever. You know, people just keep saying, "Oh yeah, well, you just get used to it and all that." No, you know, you don't. You just say, "Fuck, I'm old," and it sucks. Anyway, so yeah, I guess I'm just trying to get to the point that you just got to measure your perspective and say, well, what kept me in the game, you know, 10 years ago that's lacking now? You know, those kind of measurements, and you can sort of see some of it. You sort of just have to understand the psychology of it. That, you know, mood is you can sort of see it existing in yourself. Deer's just decimated my rose bushes. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you can sort of think strategy-wise, well, what do I have to do to get back in the game? And that's really what it's all about. It's just finding those little bits of motivation. And obviously other people can do that for you or against you. You know, I mean, the people, it's a sad truth, but yeah, depressing people are depressing. And sometimes you need somebody to boost you, to get you out of your funk. And just the way it is. Just a fact and such. What the hell is that over there? Yeah, so. Yeah, so. Yeah. Sorry, distracted. And such. Yes, I'm not saying this very articulately. It's sort of a waste of time video. So I'm wasting your time, which is just going to make you more depressed. Yeah. He's jumping around and such. Yes. He keeps his attitude pretty, whatever, steady. But that's the thing. Their world doesn't change much in terms of, you know, how they approach their life. They don't have to think about it and contextualize it. I guess that's it, the context. You're always in a different context, and context changes what's going to keep you in the game, or what's going to mean something to you, what's going to be valuable to you, what you're going to think you need, or what you know you don't need after all. You know, life experience that teaches you, you ride the bike, and, you know, if you fall off one in 5 times, then eventually you might say, well, it's not worth it. And then riding bike isn't fun anymore, because you have a context that says, yeah, but it's going to turn to shit. And so when things turn to shit, you just don't invest in them anymore, because you say, well, there's a likelihood it'll turn to shit. And so it changes your context and how you approach it, because, you know, you sort of have knowledge now that it may well turn to shit. And it just removes the incentive engine, breaks down, and there's nothing to chase anymore. But anyway, I'm just trying to say that there's more. Depression's kind of a complex phenomenon. You know, part of it's just being in a funk, but it's a funk for different reasons, because you don't feel well, or because the world has turned to actual shit, you know, in terms of your understanding of it, or what else can it be? Yeah, so I'm just saying, it's made out of different things, and that's got to be appreciated. But anyway, it's getting cold out here. So, but I think it's worth talking about in terms of like how do you manage, or how do you motivate, or how do you change, or how do you constructively deal with periods where you lose your mojo, you know, where you just, you know, you're out of the game and you need to get back in it a little bit just to do what you need to do to survive for a better day, or maybe something like that. I just didn't say this very well. I mean, I had a brilliant video in my brain and it just didn't pop out brilliant. But just assume I did the brilliant video instead of the stupid one. And I'll make it up to you next time. And such, and so forth, and whatnot. Ugh, cabbage looks like it's still alive. Pretty much. Anyway, so yeah, till next time, and such, and so forth, and whatnot.